Welcome to Riverbend Talent on WBGZ. Brought to you by the Halpin Music Company.
Another Thursday night, another Riverbend Talent. Right here on the Big Z, brought to you by the Halpin Music Company and by Mr. Matt Van Voorst of Macias Insurance, or maybe Mr. Donut or Midwest Motorsports, whatever he decides to talk about each week. Don't forget, Rock the Hops coming up August 9th. Time to submit your stuff if you want to be involved as a band or a venue, and get the advance tickets at rockthehopsalton.com. And Sea Shanty Sing Along, always underway on a Thursday night down at Morrison's Irish Pub until 9 o'clock tonight. The Psychedelic Symphony is part of the night market tonight. And on 3rd Street between Cat Daddy's and Shea Maryland's, and that's from 7 to 10 tonight, and that'll be followed up at Shea Maryland's by Everheart and Light, who do the after party right there. The open mic down at the Conservatory tonight, so Lunatics at Fast Eddie's until 10. Music in the Park in Bethalto with the Trag Band at 7 o'clock at the Bethalto Central Park. Kevin Gruen. 6 to 9 at George's Pub and Grill in Jerseyville. We got the Speed Demons Car Cruise with Up to 11. 6 to 9 at the Sage House in Bunker Hill. We got Mudbone at the Wigglers in Holiday Shores in Edwardsville from 6 to 9. Heaton Brothers Band, 6 to 9 at Big Daddy's in Edwardsville. Blake Foltz. Right across the parking lot from the Wildie at the Backstage Bar and Patio at 9 o'clock. Drew and Audrey doing the cabin at Judy Creek from 6 until 9. The House Shakers down at Tegan's from 6 until 9. And Hookie goes from playing the night market last week to the Grafton Music in the Park this Thursday night from 7 to 9, of course, in Grafton. And Nate Sickmeyer duo out at the Prairie Inn in Dorsey. Did I say Dorsey again, Pigpen? Because you don't want to call it Prairie Town, don't you?
I do want to call it Prairie Town. Mm-hmm. Look, let's just call a Prairie Town, and that is a Prairie Town.
All right.
No, hey, it's a good place though. It's fun. I don't think it's in Dorsey. I was in Dorsey getting a belt from Bertles yesterday. I know we're not. Anyway, man, a lot going on definitely in our community. Lots of musicians out playing, lots of venues supporting, having live music. So everybody get out and be a part of it. Especially, it's a great night. Really, it's nice and cool. We were supposed to get some storms, but I think they're going to pass, man. I think they're going past us.
We can always think positive, right?
I always try to.
Might want to take a rain cover.
Yeah. Well, hey, you be you. Or if it starts raining, you go all Woodstock and just strip naked, start rolling in the mud.
For sure.
I heard there weren't even any bands originally set up for Woodstock. It was just supposed to be naked chicks dancing in the mud, and the bands just was a secondary thought. I
thought that was one of your band names. Naked chicks dancing in the mud.
It was actually two of my band names. There you go.
I always went with Free Beer for my band name.
That'll draw a crowd.
Man, definitely riot every time.
Absolutely. Free Riot does not get as many people because I tried that. Hey, the disembodied voice you heard chiming in there is the voice of Zack Johnson.
Did I chime in a little too soon?
No,
I wanted to get involved. You guys were talking about some good stuff.
You know what? It was the perfect time. It was your turn. He had talked. I had talked. Now it was your turn.
I admire a good band name.
Yeah, I love great band names.
Yeah, hypothetical is just, man. Me and Nick, the guy I run MRF with, sorry to get into that too soon.
Oh, yeah. No, perfect.
But we have an ongoing list of called band names. So any weird phrase or something just clicks. You just say it, you repeat it and say, new band name, I call it.
Yeah.
And I've got a list on my phone a mile long, and half of them I can't read on here.
It's been a running joke with me for decades where anytime I hear someone say something that's cool, I'll be like, oh, that was my band in 78. You heard of us? Did you see us live? Yeah, we were good.
That's about the same thing. I love it.
Yeah, every time I hear any combination of words that I'm like, oh, that is such a good band name.
Right, man, that's a good project.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey, Zack was on with us about a year ago.
Who is Zack Johnson? I thought he was the road manager for the band Feel.
That's true. He's also a professional golfer.
Well,
and they're on the road, so he's here, and I'm confused.
Well, that's because Zack Johnson, There's allegations. No, there's no allegations.
Yeah, let's not start that.
There's fake news. No, the only allegations are that he's going to have a kick booty MRF going on this year. That's the allegations.
That is going around.
Yeah, you know what? That
MRF. What's M and F when you put those together?
Hey, this is a family show.
What is MRF?
It is.
What's that stand for?
Mother Riot. I don't know.
Mississippi River Festival.
That is what it really is. I was gonna go blue, and I decided not to. I chickened out. Anyway, last year Zack Johnson, along with Nick Buffano, came on, and he's your partner in running this. You two do it together. However, he's unavailable this evening. Nick, on tour, well, not on tour, but he's out of town in Kansas City playing a show. Who'd you say he's playing with?
Matt Jordan.
Matt Jordan. I am unfamiliar with Matt Jordan.
He's a St. Louis dude, country rock man, an incredible songwriter.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. So band, and Nick's in it. Band's great, bunch of great musicians, and the songs on top of it are
nice. I have to check that out. What's the name again? One more time.
Matt Jordan.
Matt Jordan. Yeah, St. Louis guy. I have to check that out. So Zack flying solo tonight, so we're going to dive deep into the psyche of Zack.
This is a dangerous game. Nick never lets me talk this much.
Oh, yeah. So, we got some ideas on what we're going to talk about, man. I mean,
don't prod me too much. I'll go off the wall.
Oh, Michael Jackson, man, off the wall. See, everything is also a music reference. It doesn't matter what you say. You've probably said the name of a song, the name of an album, or a city where great music came from. I don't know. Anyway, so hey, man, good to have you back on the shows. Let's real quick. Let's just recap last year. Before we dive into the new year, because we haven't talked since after the fact last year. Right off the bat, me and Dennis went down during the day. We had a booth set up by the stage, and we're hanging out. But the second I walked in front of that stage and saw the infrastructure that was there, I was blown away, because I run sound down there. I'll be running down at Earth Tones. We do that, and we have just enough to pull it off without, I think we do a decent job with what we have. However, it's no matter who you are, that stage is underdressed, because that stage is big enough you could park 2 semis across it and still have room for an orchestra.
Yeah. The NFL was looking to play a game under that canopy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think in the next season.
It was too big, is what I heard.
Too much room.
Right,
Cameras wouldn't be close enough.
Room. So,
but no, it's massive.
It is a massive stage, and so no matter what you do, it comes off underdressed. However, you hired Logic, a very well-known, reputable company to come in, and I'm sure it cost a pretty penny, because I know what PA costs, and I know what union riggers have to get paid to because that stuff was all rigged professionally. It was so right off the bat, before note one, fine job.
Thank you.
You've come out of the gate just swinging. Now,
the only things I'm taking credit for is, making a phone call to Logic. The rest of the things goes to them, man, because those dudes, well, you call them and you tell them what you want, what you're going for. Like we said, we want this to sound better than any show that's been held at the amphitheater, better than any show people have seen. I mean,
I'm not going to say it's better than we were. No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, they showed out. They absolutely did not disappoint. They brought everything, and man, and you turn it over to them, and they handle everything from stage direction to, coordinating production with advances, and they're top notch, and they do it right. So it's great to have that off our brains whenever we're doing this, and to see the product be, after all the time of not worrying about it and just trusting them with it, and it come out the way it did. It's like, oh, okay, these are the right people, and man, cool to hang around.
Well, and that, I mean, first of all, that's a big part of it too. Like you say, laid back people, because when you're the musicians or even the promoters running it, man, the last thing you want is some intense people up there that are over the top with drama, or whatever. Yeah, everybody wants just to have a good time and be laid back. We're here to play some music and throw a party is what we're here to do.
Yep.
And we want to do that. It takes a lot of work and money to throw a party, but and the bigger the party, the more work and money. Speaking of that portion of it, in addition to giving you a credit on making that call and Logic credit on doing being professionals, also the donors, because without the budget, there's a big budget that paid for that PA to be there, and without the sponsorship and donors behind it, those guys wouldn't have been there.
And the sponsors and the donors, they believe in the vision. They know the history of the old MRF, and they believe in the vision of carrying that into the future. Obviously it's going to look a little bit different, but sticking to the principles of excellence and, man, just making a special experience. And so, man, they've bought into that. And, I mean, we took a loss last year, like PA was overkill for, 4 bands. And, I mean, and they did great, and they blew it out of the freaking water. Like, man, this show, Lark and Poe, they did not disappoint. Tyler Bryant, the Shakedown, the most energy I've ever seen on a stage. Like, I was electrified.
Nice.
And, but yeah, it's tough at the end of the day to see that we took a loss. But the people who are giving this and making this happen, they believe in the future, and they know that this is an investment into that. So we're gonna crawl to the black. But
well, the throwing shows, throwing festivals, doing this sort of thing, it's a long game.
Yeah.
It's only a short game if you happen to be best friends with Taylor Swift or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And can get her to come play as a favor. I mean, when I first started doing some professional shows, the people I knew that did festivals said, hey, man, if you can't weather 4 or 5 years, it could take that long to turn it around, you know, because even if you throw an excellent show, it still takes a while to get people to get it to where people are willing to come throw their hard-earned money down necessarily. And so I took that to heart. And with this situation, it's the same way. If the donors are behind it and they believe in the vision and they're willing to play the long game, it can I kind of got the feeling last year talking to you and Nick that you are gentlemen probably that think in some lines the way I will, where, look, man, I'm in competition with myself to outdo myself. Every time I do this, what did I learn from last year to not do? What did I learn to do? How can I make it better for the same money? Or make it the same for less money? I mean, there's got to be a way to you got to learn and make it better. And you guys both seem like those kind of guys that, last year you had months to put that together. We were just discussing that before you got here. Yeah,
2 months.
You threw that together in 2 months, and that's not an easy task. This year you had a little more time, a little more time to prepare. You got 2 days.
Still always seems like there's never enough.
There never is. and you could start 2 years in advance, and you'd still be like, I didn't do everything. And part of that is, again, if you're the kind of person that's always trying to make the best out of what you can do, once you hit that list of to-dos, there's this other list of, can we make that happen? So, even as crunch time comes, you're giving yourself new tasks.
Absolutely. I appreciate you calling Nick and I gentlemen, or at least referring to us in that way. That was a good light.
That was strong language, I will say.
Yeah, let's tone it back a little bit. Don't forget who you're sitting next to.
Right. But I can smell, bro.
Man. Man, Nick and I are dreamers. Everybody on our team is dreamers, top to bottom. Because I mean, nobody's getting compensated what they're worth. Everybody's doing it based on a dream and a hope that this thing grows. Same, like we said, same with the donors. Everybody is bought into the mission of all of it and creating something special that draws people here. Like back in the day, the idea was draw people from St. Louis, get people to cross the river for something great, and show people what a great school SIUE is in the community. And now we get it here in Alton, man. Alton's got the most spirit and attitude, and I don't know. I think it's such a great music town, and a lot of people think that way. And man, our dreams are all to make it, do our part to draw people here to see that.
And that is when Dennis started the show, that's what it was about. Is we talk about all these gigs every week that he compiles, and it's not St. Louis, and we only talk about St. Louis if one of our bands is going over there, or something worthwhile that something's happening that we want to give a shout out to. But we're covering this side of the river, and we have had some
the home of rock and roll. We must say again,
the rock and roll didn't start in St. Louis, baby. You can talk Chuck Berry all day long, but it's not where it happened.
Johnny Johnson. That right hand.
Johnny Johnson, Ike Turner. Chuck Berry played his part in it, absolutely, by joining the Johnny Johnson trio. And that's where, but, we're pretty proud of that fact. Proud of Miles Davis, Bonnie Bramlett, who's getting ready to come back to the show. I'm pretty excited about that because she's huge. She's touched rock and roll as deep as like almost any one person has.
Keep your hands off her.
Oh, I'm a little afraid of her. That's the only thing that makes me.
I don't blame you.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's hard when Bonnie Bramlett's next to you to not just like kind of reach over and like rub her back or just something, because
she will punch you in the nose.
80. I don't know how old she is, but she's still dead sexy at this point in life, and just got enough bite left that I'm afraid she will black my eye or bust my nose right open, and I might like that too. So things would get weird, and then Bonnie wouldn't want to come back no more.
Right. So I want to reel you back in.
All right.
To last year's show.
Yeah.
And one of the things you had going on down there was the boat races, and it was hot. It may have been the hottest day of the year.
Yeah.
So, you say you didn't get into the black, but, did that work for you or against you? What do you think?
Oh, I think the heat worked against, man. Especially people who were out at the boat races. We were kind of counting on that to people curtails like, man, go see some boats, go see some rock and roll. But man, by the time the races wrapped up, I think folks were cooked.
Yeah.
And they were out. But we still had a good walk up turnout. But man, the heat was brutal. And so this year we're prepping for the heat. And good thing we can say is, I don't think it can get any hotter than it did last year. Knock on wood, knock on wood, knock on wood. But we're preparing for it to be as hot, if not hotter, than last year, and do everything we can, make people comfortable.
I do remember that. Like last year, me and you were out at that booth, and it, at points you're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna melt, or did I already? And like boaters in general, even like if it's not the hottest day, you see a boater by 3 o'clock, they're tore up, man.
Yeah.
They're dancing on tables and having a good time. So by the time the show starts, a lot of times people who've been out in the sun all day, it's so is it the same week as the boats?
It's not.
It is not.
No,
okay.
we're doing it separate from the boats this year. And
a couple of weeks away now. June 27th is the Friday night date, I think.
Yep. June 27th and 28th, and I think the boat races are sometime in July.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that'll make
even hotter.
That'll make parking easier this year. That part you got.
For sure.
Yeah,
that's another thing,
Yeah, it's going to open up a lot. Man, for as cool as they all were to work with last year, it was just it was tough, and we had to make the changeover, like moving fences as soon as they got done, and to open up our gates and kick people out and it was kind of a nightmare.
Yeah.
And I'm in all the planning, like we got so much more room to spread out. I'll be like, man, send your bus anywhere over there, send your trucks anywhere over there. I don't care. I don't want to think about it. Find a spot and settle down. Whereas last year we were like, can you fit in this shoebox over here in the corner? Luckily, those bus drivers can do it, though.
Right.
And you guys knew it. You said dream and learn as we go. Here we go. And that's how most festivals get started. That's how the original MRF got started. And kudos, man. I mean, and then the other thing, that was tough was you had a few months. Now you've had a whole year.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Definitely. And I mean, I'm not downplaying the quality of the lineup, but of last year, because, like I said, blown away top to bottom from everybody. But just having the time for booking is a major advantage.
Yeah.
Like whenever you look for an avail sheet to put that together, there are a lot more people available, 8 months to a year out, from a date than 2 months.
Well, and really, like if you're looking for somebody, you almost have to go a year in advance because, even if you want to you got your eye on somebody, they've already signed a contract in St. Louis with a radius that they can't play in for 6 months. And, there's all these contractual obligations that you have to beat them to the big boys to the draw.
Yeah. What's actually pretty cool is, I mean, I don't know if you all have noticed this, but like big touring bands, like as big as you want to go, maybe not like the biggest in the world, but like decently sized nationally touring bands, I feel like they don't hit the St. Louis market as much as they used to. I feel like that's doing, like, I'll see my favorite artist release a new tour and I'm like, dude, they're not coming anywhere. It's Chicago or Kansas City. Yeah. And that sucks, man.
Yeah. Especially the fact that Kansas City, I mean, I can take that they went to Chicago before, so there's a lot of people up there.
Yeah.
But come on, man, Kansas City, come on, man.
Barbecue's not that good.
It's okay. It's all right. Listen, so the supposedly one of the best barbecue places in Kansas City is called Jack Stacks. Last time I was in Kansas City, I went there, and it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and there was a 30-minute wait to get a table. And the very next week, I got brisket down in Hardin, Illinois that was way better. And there was no wait. There was no nothing. That's Mel's Dockside Cafe or whatever right there in Hardin. Hey, you want to talk about the best brisket.
They do things different in Hardin, man.
They do, man.
When you got to take a drawbridge to a town,
right?
Oh, yeah.
You know they got something special going on. I don't know what it is, but
I've always had a special place with Hardin because I worked there for about almost 2 years, a steady Wednesday, Thursday gig at a place called Big Al's. It was like the late 80s, early 90s. And first of all, when you got a steady Wednesday, Thursday, you still got the weekend to make money. This is like big time, boys. You know,
this is extra.
Oh, yeah,
this is fun
crazy.
Money.
But Big Al's was this insane place in this tiny little town that I spent 2 days a week partying at for 2 years. And one of their big things was that if you swallow eat the worm and the tequila, you write your name on the wall. And so the whole 2 stories had people's names all over.
That's a dangerous game. You give people an end goal for drinking, they're gonna prove you right every time, and it ain't gonna be good.
One of the things you talked about last year was when these national acts come to town, you wanted to enjoy the town. Did you get a chance to do that with some of the acts? Or
yeah, I mean, we were super vocal in our advances and on site, and I mean, a lot of times you're just kind of trying to show the town through the people, and whoever they interact with, whether it's the runner or director, what have you. Like if they ask for a recommendation for lunch, like if you have a list ready of great local places to go to, like that's cool, and but yeah, just making it artist centric and highlight the city. We're doing everything we can to keep the artists here, and when they have downtime, definitely use it to take a look around.
I thought you made a great point, though. If you get those artists talking about how much fun they had in this town, that spreads throughout the industry.
100%. Yeah, and we had that rollover just from year one. We released the 2025 lineup, and the artists like Ben Rector, he posted the lineup, and saying excited for the show, and he's friends with Drew Holcomb, and he's got friends on the lineup for the weekend, and we saw comments pop up on that from people who played last year, people in Larkin Poe, Tyler Bryant, the Shakedown, like Tyler Bryant's drummer Caleb Crosby says, like, man, great festival, great people. Yeah. So that's our goal. Yeah. Other than putting on a great show, like we want the artists to want to come back,
right? And
that's a testament of validation for that. And so we want people to have that preface that it's going to be awesome.
People would call it lofty dreams, but the goal should be that everybody enjoys this. Everybody who pays for their ticket enjoys it. Everybody who's volunteered still enjoys doing that. Everyone who performed, everybody. And people say, oh, that's lofty goals. Well, I mean, let's at least start with that, instead of starting with, well, forget that person, I mean, and you do want it to be that sort of thing, like the Horde Fest. One of the rumors about the Horde Fest that went around, John Popper did it for years, was that all the musicians wanted to play. It was King Crimson and John Popper. Actually, it was a weird combination, man. King Crimson's awesome. But anyway, that all the artists wanted to be a part of it because they were all, whether you were the opening act on the second stage or whether you're the main guy, everybody's treated like this is for you as much as it is for, like, we're all here to have a party together. Everyone, and it makes everybody, after a couple years of that, everybody wants to play it because they hear what a great tour it is. We get to go around the country and be taken care of, and people treat us nice. So that is, that, like I say, you got that kind of reputation. It gets through the industry, and it gets it where people are more, willing to work with you.
It goes deep. That's something I learned working with the band Feel. Speaking of, Tyler's calling me.
Put him on the air.
Well, we're working with. Should I?
Yeah, hold it up. See if we can get him on there.
Hold on. I ignored it, so he might have. Oh, okay. He might have given up.
Okay.
The voicemail. But man, working with them and touring around, and going to venues, you can very much get in a cycle of routine of wake up, drive, load in, check, eat, show, load out. Like that's just it's a grind of work. It becomes work after you get over the celebration of, dude, we're doing this. Like we're touring and getting paid, and that's awesome. Once that wears off, it's just another city, and that sucks. We don't want this to be another city, and so taking my experience from there and doing that with them, like I know what stands out whenever I go to a place, whenever they make us feel like, okay, we're home, we're family here, and they're going to do what they can to take care of us, not because they want to kiss butt and be somebody, but because they care about what it takes to put on a good show. They care about all the people around them, whether you're the performer or you're the stagehand loading out at midnight. Like, we just want everybody to feel the joy of doing something special together.
Nice.
Okay, well, let's dig into this year's show. Let's get that lineup out there. Let's tell some people. So it's the 27th and 28th, right?
Yep, that's a Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, so your headliner on Friday, Ben Rector. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what can you tell us about Ben Rector?
Man, you can't exactly put him in a genre box, which is great. It's the history of MRF, a little bit of something for everybody. But if Nick said it best the other day, if I had to put him in a genre, and there was a genre for this, I would just call it fun. Like, dude,
okay.
Like, and man, whenever I'm having a good day, like sunny day, driving in the truck, dude, I'll throw on some Ben Rector, and he'll just lift you even higher. Like, his music is fun, it's so joyful, and it's so, like, his songwriting is off the charts. His musicianship and how he composes songs is just like, man, you'll hear something on every song. It's like, man, what? What is that? Like, so it's just so unique and interesting. But at the end of the day, man, you'll listen. He just released a brand new record called Richest Man in the World, and listen to that top to bottom and tell me you don't just feel overwhelmed with joy. A lot of fun. A lot of fun.
And the world needs that right now.
Yeah.
Joy. We all need joy.
Yeah.
Is he on tour now then?
Yeah, he is.
Part of his tour?
Yep. He's on the Richest Man in the World tour.
Okay.
And man, it's so cool to see Alton, Illinois on people's tour charts.
For sure.
Like, that's a good feeling. Better than anything.
Right. He's already shouted us out too, so.
Has he?
Well, didn't you say that he had posted something already? Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's posted about it.
So we're digging that for sure. Yeah. How about Wilder Woods?
Wilder Woods, probably the band that I'm the least familiar with, and that's only because I've got a good friend, Terrence Smith, who is absolutely ate up with Wilder Woods. Okay. And it's one of those hipster bones in me that's like, whenever somebody talks about something too good, I'm like, it's probably too good to be true. I don't, I'm not gonna. I'll let the fandom say for him, but I'm looking forward to them, and I'm sure they're going to blow me away because he talks about their live performance and the energy they bring. And that's the frontman for Need to Breathe, his solo project.
Okay.
And yeah, incredible.
So they're on tour as well, and that's part of their tour. Mm-hmm. How about Alan Stone?
Alan Stone is a northwest coast dude. I think he's from Portland or Washington, something up there. Okay. With the evergreen trees,
Right, and mushrooms.
Yeah, and the mushrooms and the weed, for sure.
Nice.
And, man, he plays, like, some funk, soul, and he was a guy who, whenever we got the avail sheet, I skimmed over, hadn't heard of him, and Nick told me, he's like, dude, check this guy out. And I was like, okay. And a day or so later, dude, have you checked out Alan Stone yet? Check him out. And I do. And it takes a while to check somebody out for, like, filtering for something like this, where when you care about the stature of everything.
You're actively listening, not just passively listening.
Yeah, so I can't just put it on the truck. Like I gotta okay, let's find a good live show. Let's see what his recorded stuff is like, and let's compare and contrast how does he do under the gun whenever he's doing a solo or something. What's it like, man? And I dug into his live stuff, and there was so much, and I'm like, are you, dude? I got 30 minutes, and I'm like, yeah, dude, freaking, let's get Alan Stone and let's get him right now. And he's on tour. He just announced some partial headline tour, and he's doing a bunch of shows with Chris Stapleton. I think he's supported Chris Stapleton before, and he just announced some new August dates with him after MRF. And but yeah, man, like funk, soul, and just, man, he's got a voice you won't forget, and he'll put you in a groove where man, life is just good.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got more soul. Brian Owens soul.
Yeah, Brian Owens soul, man. That's a St. Louis dude, and man, he's got a great band around him. I was actually working on his advance today, and the stuff he was requesting for backline was just ridiculous. So, for an early act, I loved it. I loved it though. Okay, I love where he's going. Like,
we got to know though.
I don't want anybody to skimp. I know for sure he's getting a Leslie.
Okay.
So he's gonna
speaking my language
and,
here.
Our stage manager turned him down for something else.
Okay.
He was like, dude, with the changeover, I don't know.
Okay, yeah, that's just interesting.
Yeah, Ziggy, our stage manager, said, sorry, guys, I'm just catching up to the conversation. It would be very helpful not to move a B3 and Leslie with such a tight changeover. So
that sounds familiar, Big Man.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, if you got a B3, you have to have at least one Leslie.
Yeah.
So I had Melvin C. What did I say? Did I say the right name? Yeah, Melvin Seals. I almost stopped because I'm like, is that right? I had Melvin Seals and JGB play at a festival, and Melvin wanted a Hammond B with two Leslies and a Roland RD 700 on top of it, and their guitar player wanted an exact 1968. I mean, they had very specific requests, but when Melvin's like, I need two Leslies, I'm like, two? And when I watched him work them, he would spin them at different speeds, and it would warble so good. Oh, he had such control over it. It's like goosebumps right now just thinking about it. But yeah, it's like sometimes you hear a request like that, and you're like, dude, that's going to cost a lot of money and time, but man, when you see those guys work it, you ever hear of Neil Francis?
I can't say I have. No.
He's from Chicago. Had him play at a couple of festivals, and the first time I saw him, he's got one of those, an actual clav with a whammy on it. And you don't see many of these. I've seen pictures of them.
Yeah.
I think George Duke was the first one to actually do it, but he was working in mic. He wasn't just like whammy. I mean, he bent some funny notes and everything, but he would work in microtones, just taking it down, and it warbles with the band just ever so slightly. And I'm like, dude, that is so good. It's almost, I know, and it's almost like, how are you that good?
Man.
But anyway, so that's
here's one we've said many times on the show, Big Ben.
Yeah.
Beth Bombara.
Yeah.
We tried getting her on.
I contacted her a while back, but it's one of those things where
busy.
She is, and it didn't work out, and then I kind of get sidetracked like I do sometimes. But that's one of them. I believe I was supposed to get back with her, and we got to do that.
Singer songwriter, right?
Yeah.
Acoustic.
Yeah, I think she's doing a duo thing for us, and we're excited. She's a St. Louis gal, and Nick is just over the moon. Like he that was another one he pitched and was like, dude, she's gonna be perfect. It'll be great. Like, I'm just like, let's get her.
Is she going to be a part of the riders on the round there?
No, she'll have her own 30-minute set.
So you got anybody you can throw at us and might be part of that?
Of the riders round?
Yeah.
Man, Nick is handling that. We did put it out on Instagram. If you want to check that out, Mississippi River Fest.
They kicked me off Instagram.
Did they?
Yeah. It was
click on too many wrong links.
Well, it's this whole got double verification and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
By the time I tried to figure out what my password, I couldn't remember it.
Yeah.
Now they think I'm some kind of criminal because I can't remember my password. I had to change 5 times, and
you are a criminal. That's not why.
Ex-criminal. I mean, I'll admit to that.
Yeah.
That riders round, they've got a 45-minute set. I think we got 4 dudes. I think Matt Jordan is going to be one of them.
Oh, okay.
Incredible songwriter, and then we got a couple Nashville dudes coming out who I mean, some guys have written songs for Jason Aldean, Morgan Wallen. And we could really get in the weeds on their credit line, but
we're all into getting to the weeds.
Who's the songwriter? We've had him on the show that was from East Alton, had all the contracts, wrote for Chris Stapleton, wrote for he's. You know what I'm talking about.
I'm sure he's friends with Billy.
And I thought it was Buddy right away, Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown. He's my football coach in high school.
Right, but it's the other guy.
I'm blanking on his name right now.
You know how when a name goes in your head, the other one never is going to jump in.
He's a local guy from East Alton that has wrote hits, lots of hits in Nashville. And he's on like his 6th, 7th, contract with anyway.
Yeah, we'll think of it. We'll get back to it.
Since I can't remember his name, I'm like, just shut up till you think of it, man. Anyway.
So that's the Friday night on the 27th. And since we're on Friday at Pigpen, let's run through some of our Friday nights happening this weekend. We got Love Buzz down at the Flock from 6 to 9. We got singer-songwriter showcase happening Friday night with Michael Pullman, 8 o'clock with Everhart and Light hosting there at Shea Maryland's. The Fabulous Freebirds, who we talked about last week, they're going to be one of the first bands that I've seen listed playing Bubby and Sissies from 7 to 9 on Friday night with a live drag performance at 10 o'clock. And then we got Denver Wade Trent and Midwest Avenue at Fast Eddie's. We got the Dave Mendoza Band at the BFW in Alton, the Backyard Blues Band at the Moose in Wood River, Matt Tall playing at Bakers and Hale and Godfrey from 7 to 10, Kevin Gruen 7 to 10 at Locke's Brick House in Bethalto, Katie Hatch 7 to 10 at Holiday Shores Marina Bar in Edwardsville. We got Corey Sadoff and Josh Kern of the Trophy Mules playing at Sam's Last Chance, formerly the Corner Tavern in Edwardsville, from 8 to 11 on Friday. The Wild E Theater is going to have Grunge, the Sound of Seattle, at 8 o'clock. The Wild E in Edwardsville, Native State across the parking lot at the Backstage Bar and Patio, following the show at 9 o'clock until 1 a.m. Blake Bolt, 6 to 9 at Big Daddy's in Edwardsville. And at the Stagger Inn again in Edwardsville, the legendary Butch Moore with his buddies Matt Gadigan and Paul Nienhaus IV. Also Mike Younger going to be there at the Stagger Inn on Friday. Laney and Julie at the Moose in Edwardsville. Ryan Holting doing the Cabin at Judy Creek. And at the Mill in Granite City, Fan with an F, Van Halen. Van Halen. That's a Van Halen tribute band. Not to be confused with Matt Van Voris. Whose favorite band when he was a kid was Van Halen?
Had to be.
Yeah.
So mine was, or maybe it was Van Morrison.
And he got a Kramer guitar from Halpin Music. Fake news.
This isn't fake news. Tommy Carlos.
That's it.
That is the songwriter's name from East Alton. Wrote songs for Randy Travis, Old Dominion, all kinds of people there.
Did you hear where Hookie's playing on Friday night?
Where is Hookie playing?
They're playing at the racetrack, the Worldwide Technology Raceway in Madison. They're going to be with Soul Asylum.
Wow, nice.
And Cracker.
Ah, okay.
That's me.
Yeah.
And Sponge.
Yeah, that's me.
Chase Wright and Blackwater Acoustic. That's happening at the Worldwide Technology Raceway in Madison / East St. Louis / Granite City.
Whichever home of rock
city
and
you
roll.
want to call it there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, home of rock and roll for sure, Madison.
Yeah.
And then we got the list up at Grafton once again this weekend. So all that going on.
Nice.
This weekend in our area only.
Yeah, nowhere else, man. Nowhere else. You know what else is going on in our area only? Mississippi River Fest.
That's right. That's what we're talking about.
Let's bring it back.
We did. We brought it back
That was
last
so
year.
smooth.
We brought it back last year, and there was some skeptics out there going, what are they doing using that name and doing it? You know what? I haven't heard that this year. I haven't heard one person say,
That's good.
you can't use that name.
Yeah.
That was something different and blah, blah, blah.
If I'm being honest, I stopped listening, so I'm glad. Since you're listening, you're not hearing it, because I'm just like, man.
It was on fire.
I took
last
care of those
year.
people.
Yeah.
I took care of the
Appreciate it,
people.
big
The
man.
naysayers,
Yeah.
they're not around.
My
anymore.
man.
So, yeah, there you go. Good things happening this year, turning things around even more and advancing forward here with the Mississippi River Festival. And another thing that was tough about last year was the problems they've always had down there at the amphitheater, and that's just basic needs for bands. And you guys had Coleman campers helping out with the green rooms, which probably helped out big time.
Oh, huge.
Especially with that heat. Got some AC for the performers, and you know.
Yeah, I mean, man, Brian Campbell at Coleman. Go buy a camper from Brian Campbell at Coleman's Campers. I don't know if you guys have an RV sponsor on the show, because I don't want to step on that.
No, it's fine, because they'll have to get insured through Matt Van Vors of Macias Insurance.
There we go. Let's make it all connect, why don't we? But I got to give a free ad read for them at Coleman, because not just for us, but any like decent sized show down there where they need talent hospitality, that dude just he's like, yeah, no questions asked. Like, I tried to schmooze him over some lunch, and because last year we asked for 8, this year we need 12. That's not a super easy ask for a donation. And I sweet talked him a little bit, but I didn't even need to. I said the number, and he's like, yeah, no problem.
Wow, awesome.
You showed a little upper thigh. Yeah.
No, man, I think he was just hungry. He just wanted lunch and to hang out for a little bit. But man, yeah.
And talking about the heat last year, to not, if you wouldn't have had an air conditioned spot for the artists to hang out, and they wouldn't be talking nice this year about us. They would be going, we melted there last year.
Yeah.
I had to jump in the Mississippi to cool down, and I ended up waking up in New Orleans.
Anything you learned from last year concerning this topic with the amphitheater that year that you've addressed out front of that this year, maybe?
Definitely stuff to be learned, but last year we were directly partnered with the city, and I want to tip my cap to them, because this year we're handling it all on our own. And I'm out pricing quotes for certain rentals that they took care of last year, and it's not fun. And those numbers rack up, and they were just insanely generous to do that with us last year. And so, as much as there were growing pains and lessons learned last year, like, man, there's a whole new level. So yeah, it all applied. I can't say I got anything specifically lined up for but I know I learned, and I think I did my best to erase all mistakes. And just take the lesson with me,
for sure.
Because I
so
wouldn't
you're
sleep
finding out how much porta potties cost this year, right?
Yep, porta potties, and you'd be surprised how much temporary fences cost.
Oh yeah,
I'm getting quotes on that I'm just like, are you serious?
Right,
dude.
So
I'll
maybe
build
this year we'll take it down at the end and just wad it up and keep it for next year. You do that?
No,
all right, I'm not enticing anything.
Seriously, when you put up infrastructure of any type, a stage, fencing to go around the area, like you say, porta potties or sinks, all this stuff racks up, and a lot of people, I think, have no idea until you throw a party of that size. You don't realize what it takes to throw a party of that size. Because, again, the bigger the party, the more work, the more money, the more of everything that it takes. So this year, on your own, going out without the city kind of holding your hand on it, or taking care of your partner.
Walking with me.
Yeah, walking with you. That's what I'm saying by holding your hand. You're holding their hand too. I'm saying you're holding each other's hands, man. We can hold hands on the table if you want. We can do it above the table, but my wife would be like calling you later, going, "You get away from my man." No, I don't know. Anyway.
Reel back. Come on.
Right. What are we talking about again, man?
We're talking about Saturday, June 28th now, as we already did the 27th.
Just saying, he's a tall drink of water.
All right. I was following his reeling back in part.
No, I'm not. I'm taking this line and running with it.
Okay. Well, Blackberry Smoke is the word of the day.
Oh, yeah.
For Saturday.
And say that 3 times and they'll appear, which is pretty awesome.
Is that for free?
You got to look in a mirror.
If they'll show up for free doing that, then I wish we would have tried that before we signed contracts. Good Lord.
So I would assume, though, you guys got to know them a little bit, and that probably helped getting them to the MRF.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've toured. The band Feel has played a handful of shows with them. We actually were just out in Virginia Beach with them like 2 weeks ago for a show that actually both of our sets ended up getting rained out. Each set got like
bummer.
3 or 4 songs in, and then lightning, hail.
I've seen the pictures.
It was brutal and wet. So after we realized everything, all the electronics survived the next day, it was like, okay, that was kind of fun. But yeah, man, it's been cool to build a rapport with them and get to know the guys and have that relationship. And just, I'm like, we'll whisper in their ear, like, because from the get-go, like last year, we were trying to get MRF off the ground, and we we're like, dude, Smoke would be perfect. And luckily, it worked out this year, and yeah, great rapport, and man, their management team, they got a new tour manager, and yeah, just everybody's been cool, and they've bought in from their level to a rebuild of an image of a festival, because
Nice.
Getting to be with them at a show, casual, I get to tell them, like, give them a full rundown of what it's all about, without getting too much in the weeds. And he's like, oh, dude, okay, great. Well, I'll do whatever I can to cut you costs, and like, cause we're traveling home the next day, so we don't need you to provide full rider, bus stock, stuff like that.
Nice.
He's like, dude, so that's gonna save us.
Every little bit counts, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he said, man, I'm going to do everything I can to support you there and take it easy on you financially. But yeah, they're all excited, and man, one of the tightest bands I've ever seen live. Like, they're so fun, and they know what they're doing with a rock and roll show.
And it's nice when you have that sort of relationship where you kind of get the family deal.
Yeah.
You don't have to supply everything on this rider list. Just take care of us. Make sure we're not over here wanting something.
Yeah.
And if you can go around that booking agent, it saves a big chunk. And like I was dogging a booking agent one time, and
Never dog a booking agent.
Well,
they're always listening.
Well, no, they weren't there, but the road manager is Andy Frasco in the UN, and I was I was just kind of dogging the guy, going, he's always trying to get every penny he can out of me. And their manager stopped me. Bo, he's an awesome dude. He goes, hey, stop. He's why we got the bigger bus. Why we got a bigger van this year, and why we're staying, not in people's front living rooms.
Absolutely.
He's like, and I'm like, well, he's always trying to get everything. He's like, you get the family price. You just call me, but don't talk bad about him in front of us. I'm like, I get it. He's making your living, but man, when you're on the other side, it's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, man.
Every penny counts.
Yeah.
But so that's cool. They're giving you the family deal. So, and Blackberry Smoke, I've seen them, man. This is a show worth seeing. So, last time I saw them, actually, it's been a few years, and they were at the amphitheater in Chesterfield, Missouri there.
Nice.
Great venue and everything, but I kept thinking, why isn't something like this at our amphitheater?
Yeah.
And here we are, a few years down the road.
It's happening.
And it's happening. So thank you.
Yeah.
Who else we got on that Saturday?
We
my
got
gosh.
Drew Holcomb and the Neighbors.
Oh, man. And it's hard to get along with your neighbors, but Drew does. He really does.
He brings them with him everywhere.
He takes them with him. He likes them so much. So what can you tell us about Drew Holcomb and his and the Neighbors?
Man, a little bit of rock and roll, a little bit of folk, and just feel good music. Real dynamic band, and man, he's got some heaters that have been hits, and he's got a song that is like, I think it's called "I Want to Dance with Everybody," and it's something about just like, man, where you're at, just living and friggin' letting loose in the moment, and it's one of those songs that just makes me feel good.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to Drew Holcomb and the Neighbors.
Touring band as well, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
For sure. How about Nikki Lane?
Nikki Lane. Oh my gosh. What do they call her? The Queen of Cosmic Country something? Man, it's not Cosmic Country, but
I like that though.
dude, she's got some sort of like acquired title that's just like, man, that's pretty bad.
I like Cosmic Country. I like Cosmic Cow too, man.
She's rock and roll, and she's got attitude to spare, and and you feel it in her music, and
That's awesome.
yeah.
Brent Cobb.
Another man. I can't tell you. I'm not just from a promoter standpoint. I'm stoked for everybody on this freaking list.
Right, I can tell. And if people watch a video, they'll be able to tell too.
Yeah. Brent Cobb, incredible songwriter and insane guitarist. He's got a voice that sticks with you as well. Man, he's got a great band. I think they just put out a new album called Ain't Rocked in a While. Don't quote me on that. But man, just like country boy attitude, rock and roll stuff. I'm sure a lot of slide. And man, I think he's written a couple songs that like Whiskey Myers has picked up. Like he's written a couple, I think, of their hits.
So I was gonna say I think he might do one with like Hayes Carl and Todd Snyder. I think I feel like I've seen this guy and that
he's played with everybody.
Yeah, he's wrote some songs. Maybe that Bible on the Dashboard song, kind of a. I don't know. I'm trying to pick. It's the whole time I'm going Brent Cobb. I swear I know this name. And as you were saying, well, rock and attitude, but country. I'm like, I think, but I'm trying to place him, and I'm not too good at that sometimes. I pregame just a little too long.
No such thing.
You were supposed to invite Zack. That's what he said last time.
He just showed up late.
That's my fault.
Right, I was here waiting on him. I was like, when Zack gets here, we are going pregame.
Well, we like to get into the weeds.
That's where I am most of the time.
Kassi Ashton. How about that?
Kassi Ashton, another incredible one that, I can't say I'm looking forward to her more than anybody else, but she's got a voice, a voice and an attitude performing on stage that is just second to none. I can't believe that she's not bigger in like the country world than she is. It blows my mind. Her listenership is online is great, and she has a recent album that came out late in 24 called Made from Dirt. Another album, top to bottom. Like, man, she's got so much soul and power in her voice, and in her live show is incredible. Like the way she moves, she's just captivating on stage. Very much like a Christina Aguilera kind of voice, and like shoulder movement. Can you feel that? Like that attitude. And man, she'll just take you somewhere else. And I wish she had more time to play, honestly, because I'd love to let her get into everything she's got.
Jeremie Albino.
Another heater. Man, country, the dude can play the crap out of a guitar, and everything I've seen from his live performance is an insane amount of energy. Everybody here, I think, on this day could almost be rock and roll exclusive, but with country elements. Yeah. Maybe everybody except for Zack Person.
That's what I was starting to feel there.
But yeah, Jeremie Albino, man, he's got some great stuff up, and I can't wait to see what he does.
Zack Person.
Zack Person. Zack Person. That dude plays in a duo. It is a rock and roll duo. I think it's him and a drummer, and he does stuff with a guitar that I've never heard before. And you watch him, like he's done like the Minibus YouTube series and stuff like that, like the not Tiny Desk, but like just below it, those kinds of series. And
Jamming in the Van.
Yeah, that's the one. He's done Jamming in the Van, and I watched that and I'm like, how are they making these noises with just the two of them? It's insane, and the energy and the guitar tone is just insane, and so much fun. And he's done some shows touring with Blackberry Smoke as well. I know I've seen videos of him and Charlie Starr shredding the guitars together. And
also the first person I've ever known of named Person.
Yeah.
For sure.
Makes me think he's not really a person.
This next one I know we've said many times.
Oh, yeah.
Riley Holtz and the Lost Cause.
Yeah. I'm so he's bringing out, I think, an 8-piece band.
Oh wow! Nice.
To the show. So he's got him on guitar, another guitarist who plays fiddle, bassist, drums. I think he's having a 3-piece horn section, 2 sax, and a trumpet. They're another one that I saw them play at the Post Commons, and I'm just like, okay, this isn't just some local nobody. This dude knows how to put on a show, control a crowd, and his voice is so rich and recognizable. And but yeah, their live show when they go full band, insane, so much fun. So man, they were one of the first people we had in mind to kick off that Saturday show, and I don't think they're going to disappoint. I think they've got the biggest band for the entire weekend, and they're the opening slot on Saturday.
That's
and
hilarious.
Man, he's been doing a killer job promoting the show for us. He was on My St. Louis yesterday, and yeah.
Yeah, so that is all of these bands we're talking about are bands that are performing at the Mississippi River Festival. That is June 27th, Friday, and June 28th, Saturday. People want to find out to recap any of this information. What's the website?
You can go to our website, MississippiRiverFest.com, just F-E-S-T.
There you go.
Mississippi River.
I don't know if there's any tickets available
MississippiRiverFest.com.
still, is there?
There's still a couple, man. We're sold out of Saturday VIP and weekend pass VIP. Still a couple Friday VIPs left, and a decent amount of GA tickets. So that's going to be the move. And good news is we're going in a totally different direction than last year in terms of seating. It's going to be open seating. It's going to be bring your own chair, bring a blanket, sit on it, make room. One of the things we fought last year was like, man, VIP, you got to give them the seats in the middle.
Yeah.
And we're tired of that. So we're like, man, the VIP package is going to be the benefit of having this tent, private bar,
right.
air conditioned restroom.
But where you sit is up to you.
Where you sit's up to you. So that's going to be first come, first serve. Get there. If you just want to see one of the later acts, I'd recommend getting there early, get a good spot, and you're not going to be disappointed with the bands playing earlier in the day.
Right.
So is that how the original MRF was? Just a general admission, get to the front and get there early?
No, they
type
had paid seats under the tent, right? I think it was like they had the cool directors' chairs, different colors for different tiers. They had those under the tent, and then the others would sit out in the lawn, first come first serve. The zoo out there. But yeah, we wanted it to be something where, man, if your move's hanging back, go hang back on the top of the berm. If your move is getting in the pit, we want you to get in the pit without blocking anybody's view. On the first terrace, we want the energy for the artists to be there, and congregate right in front, and just be a cool feel. So we'll see how that goes. But
oh yeah, I you know what, I have high hopes. I know, I seriously, after what you guys did last year, I'm not even questioning that it's going to get knocked out of the park this year. I think as a smart move to not be on the same day as the boat race, because it didn't benefit you enough to as it affected the bad parking and fighting the crowd and having to deal with their
Yeah.
So plus, like you said, it gives you time where you're not like you got 1 hour between when they quit and when you start to move fence. You can go down there the day before and be have that stuff in place, because it takes again, as we were saying, takes a lot to do something of this magnitude. Super excited to see it happening. We've said for 10 years on this show that amphitheater needs to have more local shows, more national shows, more shows. It's sat empty for a long time. It's just awesome to see over the past few years that it has started seemingly popping a little bit again, and glad to see you guys are a part of that. And when I say you guys, I'm talking to Zack Johnson, but I also mean the spirit of Nick Buffano, who is not here.
Yeah.
He's in Kansas City doing a show. But Nick, your partner on this, like you say, he was the one telling you listen to bands, and you guys are going back and forth. So it's always nice to have a partner in crime.
Yeah.
Because to try and do this sort of thing alone, you go insane just running over the same circles in your mind without someone to tell you stop.
Yeah. Man, but that was the fun part in booking is pitching bands back and forth to one another. It's like, man, 'cause half the time I know artists, he doesn't know, and vice versa, and like pitching him and him being like, oh, okay, and then I go to sales pitch mode. If he's not in right off the bat, I'm like, dude, we need these people for this. Like, dude, check this out. I'm just sending example after example, and man, it's fun to be combative. It's like, no, we don't have that much time. Like, and just figuring it out. Like, it's a pretty cool thing.
It's part of the game, man.
Yeah.
And that there's a few parts to building a show, and one part is the idea we're going to have this show and it's going to be at this place and this is the thing, and then the next part is building that lineup, which is sort of the show, and then there's that, okay, we got to put a stage together, but there's all these different there's all these different steps, and that's just the show. Forget everything around the show, all the ticket sales and the toilets and the vending and there's thanks to you for you and Nick for putting the time and effort into it. This looks like it's going to be a banging weekend to be at the riverfront here in Alton. That is, again.
So what's it going to cost for a general admission ticket? Is there a 2-day price or?
2-day price. You get $10 off each day ticket. So a single day ticket for GA is $55, and then a VIP ticket for a single day is $75.
Okay.
And for each of those packages, we bump off $10 if you buy a weekend.
Okay.
So get those tickets at MississippiRiverFest.com.
Yeah.
There you go. That is once again the voice of Zack Johnson. Hey, thanks, Zack, for coming down and hanging out with us for this past hour. And
thanks for having me. It was painless.
Oh yeah, well, you don't know what's next.
Oh, no.
You spoke too soon, bro.
Oh,
we got 30 seconds left.
Oh, God.
Well, I think we're going to run just a little bit over, Pigpen, because I want to get to Saturday before we wrap things up, because Magic Johnson's performing Saturday.
Okay, well, tell me all about it.
The Magic Mayhem Show. They're doing it at Old Bakery Brewery. And it's John Johnson and, of course, Professor Longhair down there at the Old Bakery Brewery from 7 to 9. And then Eric Kinsley has a new act called Eric Kinsley and the Pop Messengers, featuring Todd Keith and Erica Kennington. They're playing at Bossa Nova from 7 to 10. We got Go-Go Dancers at 8, and then Pride Drag Show at 9:30 at Bubby and Sissy's, Red Rock and Crossroads at Fast Eddie's, in that order. Starting at 1:30, you got Tanglefoot, 7 to 11 at Baker's and Hale, and Godfrey Pugin Steamick, I think is how you say his name. I don't know. What do you think, Pugin?
They were my lawyers in an accident. I was denied.
Okay. That's one name, Pugin Steamick.
Pugin Steamick.
That's why he needs Brad Welker there, because you could say his name. That starts 6 o'clock at the Grip and Sip in Cottage Hills. And, of course, we got the Audio Distilled out there at Bluestem Vodka in Meadowbrook, Rewind at the Pump House in Wood River, Blues and Grass at Chico's in Wood River, the Tracy Inman Band up there at the Betsy Ann Picnic in Brighton, James Jones at George's Pub and Grill in Jerseyville, and then the great Grafton lineup. It looks like Yacht Rockers at Loading Dock 4 to 7, Ed Callis and Duo 3 to 7 at the Winery in Grafton, Decades Apart 1:30 to 5:30 with Worth the Fight 7 to 11 at the Pub, and Left Hand Cowboy 2 to 6 at the Terrace at Aries in Grafton, and Catfish Willie 7 to 10 at Bloody Bucket Saloon in Grafton. I want to scan through the list here real quick and see if there's anything else that just jumps off the page at me, Pigpen. You seeing anything in there that catches your little winker?
Oh, let's see what tickles me pink here.
Toxic Johnny, they're playing at Route 66 Kickstand. The Dude Abides, 7 to 10 at Old Herald Brewery in Collinsville. And then, of course, a whole list of stuff for Sunday as well. And you can find this list at cottonmouth.org, where we keep the videos and everything else we do to help the bands around town, you know, the venues and everything you need. It's a worksheet for bands. And the fans can just follow along as well, because there's lots of information there.
Yeah, just last Thursday, went down to the night market after the show, and a nice young man came up and introduced himself, Matthew Murder.
Oh yeah,
and he said, "Hey man, can you help get me gigs?" And I said, "Hey, man, you ever heard of Cottonmouth.org? Well, there's a lot of gigs to be had out there."
Oh, yeah. Especially for a single acoustic act.
Yeah. So absolutely. Anybody who is an artist looking for gigs, great place to find venues. Venues looking for bands, great place to find bands. One-stop shop for all that. You want a one-stop shop for a good time, hit the Mississippi River Fest. That is going on again June 27th. That's Friday. June 28th, Saturday. On Friday, they got Ben Rector as the headliner, and Saturday, the Blackberry Smoke.
Yeah, 1 and 2 day passes there, and you need to get them quickly, because they're going to fly off the shelf here. The last couple of weeks, a lot of people waiting to see, what are we doing during that period, Yeah. And that's when the tickets start flying.
Absolutely.
Those last couple of weeks leading up to things, the promotions kick in harder, and I got
Something
a feeling,
just kicked
man.
in pretty hard for
Well,
me.
I think we're going to be closer to the black at the end of this. A blackberry smoke.
we're getting out of the red and into the blackberry smoke.
Yeah.
So
best of luck to you guys.
Yeah, best of luck to you guys. Thanks for all the hard work. Thanks for coming down and chatting with us. Our guest again, Zack Johnson.
Thanks for having me, and man, thanks what you guys do for local and live music, man.
Real
freaking cool.
It's like what you said earlier. We've got an unbelievably smoking musical and artistic area here.
Same to you guys, Nick and you as well, helping the local music. Was it Harbor Music, right? Yeah.
Harbor Music, man.
So there you go, man. Everybody, again, check it out. Mississippi River Festival, or MississippiRiverFest.com. One last shout out here to our sponsors, Halpin Music Company. Been keeping this alive for over a decade now, and a great place to go get all kinds of instruments, not only to buy them, get them repaired, and Mr. Matt Van Voors, who is not only a great insurance agent, but just dead sexy.
I was thinking earlier when we were talking about Coleman Campers helping them out down there, and that Matt would, ensure that, what else you need if you get a camper, though, is a ukulele and an acoustic.
Oh, absolutely.
Right, for the fire.
Yeah, you need a ukulele and a U-bass.
So you get that from Halpin Music.
Absolutely. So big thanks to the sponsors, Halpin Music and Matt Van Voors of Macias Insurance. Thanks to everybody for listening. Everybody get out and support local music and art.